You know what that sounds means, guys and girls? It is Bass, Kayak, and Beers on the Paddle and Fin Network. I just realized on my first episode, this should be the second episode of the season. I'm recording in December, but we're on a break right now in Paddle and Fin, and this episode is going to be coming up in the second week of January. So if you're listening, it's probably somewhere in mid-January. But my first episode, if you got to listen to it, was with Christine Fisher, and I completely forgot my beer on that one. So starting off the season on the wrong foot, but we got the crack open beer on this one. So anyways, don't know what to give you updates on because I'm still in 2021 and you're all in 2022. Listen to me. But like I said on my last episode, I hope you guys had a great holiday season. If you're on the water, if you're family member, vacation, hope you all had a great time and stay safe. Lots of exciting stuff that it's going to be coming around the corner in Paddle and Fin. I'm very excited about this season. We might be in the works to branch out and do some other stuff. I'm not going to give too much because it's still in the works. But trust me, it's going to be exciting if it works out. But anyways, second episode of the season for Bass, Kayak, and Beers. And on this episode, I got one of my favorite guests. He's been, I think, the third time on my podcast since I started. One of my very first guests, his name is Frankie Provolone, or as you mostly call him, Provolone. He's the founder, owner, whatever you want to call it, of Slaynation. I started fishing in Slaynation. That's where I got my lines wet as a tournament angler. It took me about 5 tournaments to catch my first fish, but I had a great time. It's one of those tournaments where it's great if you're learning not just kayak fishing, but learning the tournament aspect of kayak fishing. But it's also great if you're a competitive angler and you want to get some lunch money and you want to have fun and get those competitive juice going. So if you haven't fished the Slaynation tournaments, look for your local Slaynation tournament near you and go check it out. It's lots of fun. One of the things that I like about it is Frankie does a great job with sponsorship, probably better than anybody else. So every time we're out on the water after the tournament, there's always a bunch of giveaways. So even if you come in last and don't catch a fish, there's a good chance you're going to get some type of prize because that's just the way Slaynation and Frankie operate. But anyways, he's going to be my special guest before we go on to commercials. Again, shout out to Douglas Rod. Go to douglasoutdoors.com. Check out their swag for winter. Still going to be cold for another few months. Go check out the LRS rods, X-Matrix rods. Go to douglasoutdoors.com. Go to quick commercial, and then we got Frankie Provolone. Woo! Mr. Frankie Provolone.
Woo! Woo! What up, Armando? What's going on, Slayer? How you doing?
Frankie bringing the energy. That was a lame intro compared to the energy you're bringing right now, but I appreciate it, man. I love the energy you bring.
Oh, get out of here, man. You always bring the positive vibes, and that's all that matters, dude.
How you been, man?
Been great, man. Just, it's that busy time of year for everybody. Holidays, Christmas breaks coming up for all the kids, family time. So, and busy time for Slaynation, right? So it's a busy time, but we love it. Being busy is good. Keeps you out of trouble. How are you?
Very good, man. Thank you for asking. Great. Winter, I mean, we're still in late fall, but it's been a grind fishing. It's not been fun, yeah. But, out on the water beats being out at work. So.
Oh, yeah, you said it, brother.
Hopefully by the time this podcast airs, I've caught a few fish. Okay. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life if I don't catch something. But it's been fun, man. I can't complain. I'm back to work and work is taking time away from fishing, which sucks. But I need to work. And that's pretty much it, man. Excited for the new season. Fishing. Gonna do some major, some national trails like the Hobie BOS.
Excellent.
God willing, so I'm excited about that. But other than that, man, everything's cool. Excited to see what Slaynation brings, man. When you came in the first time, Slaynation wasn't even a kayak series yet. No. You came in as a special guest. We talked about Slaynation. You talked about the plans of having a kayak series. 2 years later or 2 years later, your third year. This is your third year as hosting tournaments, right?
Yeah, this was our third season. Yep.
And the second season for kayaks, right? Or the third season?
No, it was our first season with kayaks.
This is your no. This is your second season. Yeah.
No, this was our first season with kayaks.
Yes. I'm saying we're going into the second
kayak
season.
only. Yeah, kayak only series. Yeah, this is our first season with the kayak only series. Yeah.
But we're going into the second season.
Yes, starting next year will be the second season. Correct.
Well, we're in next year. For as far as that audience is concerned, we're in 2022.
Gotcha. Dude, I missed that boat, man. Yes, we're in the second season.
We're still in December, but for our audience purpose. So second season, how has it been for you, man? Are you impressed with the growth you've had and the outpouring of support? Or I don't know, how do you feel about your growth?
Yeah, we're blessed, man. The Slaynation community, the Slayers out there, our sponsors, and all the people we work with, everybody who all our podcast buddies like yourself and all the others. Tremendous growth for us. It's grown faster than we ever thought. The first year we were in 7 states with 150 members, and then this past season, our target goal was 500 members. We were just shy of 700. And so we were in 23 states. So, I mean, it's been really cool. People are like, taking on the concept, what we got going on. We're extremely happy. And we're every month, we're always thinking about new things for the following year, what new businesses we want to partner with. The kayak series alone has taken off. We had, 13 kayak series this season. And got a lot of really good feedback. And I'm really excited for that heading into this season, in 2022, as well as our small vessel series, which is our bread and butter. That continues to grow. And our lady Slayers online series is starting to blow up. I think we're going to have close to 200 lady Slayers competing this season.
Nice.
And it was great. And then our next generation series, that's the youth, that's 8 to 14-year-olds. And that was our first year offering that in 2021. I was really happy to see, dads and moms and aunts and uncles taking these kids out on the water, right? Or bank fishing with them. That was the whole concept behind that, was to get people together out on the water. And then our newest baby coming in for 2022, we're venturing up from the John boats into the horsepower.
Really?
So we have a horsepower series, which is 75 horsepower max, 20-foot boats and smaller. And so I'm excited to see how that goes.
That's amazing, man. The growth that you had over just span of 3 years, 3 seasons, amazing.
Yeah, we're blessed, man. It's a lot of work, but it's good.
It's funny, and not to throw shots at anybody else, but lately there's been a lot of buzz about the Bass Nation trail that came out, and not all of it is positive. And I have my points of view. We're talking about some other hosts and other people in the tournament, and a lot of people say, well, they're new. You got to give them a break. And not to throw anybody under the bus, but one of the things that I mentioned is like, Frankie's a teacher, and he runs like 3 tournaments. And I'm sure it's not flawless, but it's a lot better than what's going on over there. So I don't want to hear all that excuse of growing pains. I don't want to hear it's remarkable what you have done. In the fact, and I'm sure behind closed doors you have your frustrations. I'm sure things have come up that you wish you wouldn't have. I'm sure things are not going, are not always going to run perfectly. But you managed to keep that in-house and managed to deal with it. And you still run a productive tournament. Like, how many states is the kayak fishing? And I'm going to focus on the kayak fishing because I know you got boats and, like you mentioned, horsepower boats and all that, small vessels. But, as far as my audience is concerned and what I do kayak fishing, how many kayak fishing states do you have right now running tournaments?
States, we have 13 states, but we have multiple ones in states. That's the thing. Is that we're going to have about, we have 32 series in all ready to go for next year. Yeah, that's an all. That's not just kayak, but that's in everything. But that's like we have about 16 or 17 series in the kayak world for next year. So yeah, we're getting there, and I still have more phone calls with potential directors. So we're looking at possibly pushing 20 kayak series in 2022.
How have you managed? And again, it's not flawless, but how have you managed to grow it and avoid the, you know, the what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like the criticism that you usually get in social media, because you might think, well, it's not that big. Well, no, Slaynation is pretty big. But yet you never hear anything bad about Slaynation, you know, when it comes to social media side, and yet it keeps growing. What's been your secret? What have you done? What have you learned to help build this in a way that it's grown organically, and it seems like for the most part everybody's happy with what you're doing?
Yeah, it's, obviously there's challenges with anything, right? And yeah, I deal with those, but I mean, for nothing, knock on wood, for as many trails as we got, I don't deal with a whole bunch of stuff, right? And if it's anything, I hear about it at the end of the season, what's going on, but it's reaching out to our directors, doing check-ins. How you doing? What do you need help with? Like, that's what it is. It's educating our directors on how to run it properly. And, our format, our focus, and it's keeping a touch base. And I mean, we still deal with the haters, right? We're posting in a fishing forum on Facebook. You get, this must be a fad. And, and that's fine. We put the key to it is putting your head down and worrying about yourself, right? And that's what anything in life is. If you start worrying about everybody else, now your energy that should be going in what you got, your endeavors, are now being wasted on somebody else. And now that's going to reflect on your final product.
Yep.
And so I tell my directors, because they ask me, like, hey, Frank, how to respond to this comment? I'm like, you don't respond. You can delete it. All right. Or you just don't respond. And sometimes I tell them, hey, just leave it. That's fuel. That's fuel for you. Right. That's fuel. That's the thing with haters is, they're going to fuel the fire for the winners. Right. Thank you. And that's what makes you want to be better and do better. And so there's challenges with everything, but we put our head down. We know that we're the new kid on the block still. And there's going to be people that criticize, but when you have guys like Mark Pendergraft fishing Slaynation events, right?
Yep.
And that are
Brian
digging
Howell.
Brian Howell, that's right. I mean, Christian Cooper, who just finished top 11 in a KBF.
Let me tell you something. Christian Cooper, sorry to interrupt. Christian Cooper is a great angler. That kid is good.
That's what I hear. And he's a nice young kid too.
Very well spoken. If that kid ever decides to go to kind of like national trails, he could do some damage.
Absolutely.
He's really good.
And that's what it is. And I think we're slowly, because we're in so many different niches of the industry, I pay a lot of attention to kayak stuff. Like anything you talk about, I'm going to know about because I'm always in the know. I'm on, KBN. I'm watching KBF. I know all about the Hobie BOS. I'm there. I'm watching. I'm tuning in. And, and I hear the same thing you're talking about, excuse me, other kayak series and that are more national, what people say and this and that. And so I try to learn from that a little bit, right? I mean, we're not on that level, but you gotta, feedback is king, man. If you can't, and it doesn't matter whether it's for your personal series or if it's someone else, people don't like something, then don't mimic, don't mimic the bad recipe, basically. Modify, adjust, and try to improve.
That's very good and wisdom on your part. What have you learned? Let me ask you this. What have you learned from watching other trails? You mentioned that you see other trails and you try to learn from it. What have you learned to do and what not to do from watching other trails?
Yeah. So, for example, AJ over at Hobie BOS, I think he sets a top-notch standard. He's very professional, organized. You don't hear anything bad about the Hobie BOS, really. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the best kayak anglers fish in that series. I think he sets a nice standard. He's different than I have a different demeanor when it comes to directing. Right? I'm loud. I'm audacious. That's me. But I admire how he does it too, because
Yeah.
it's like well put together. And I'm trying to plan this big Slaynation event in Northeast. I don't even know where to start. So when I look at these national trails that book these cities, I'm like, damn, I give them credit. Like, they're not doing one, they're doing 6, 7, 8, and then a championship or whatever. The TOC, like I give a ton of credit to any tournament director who's doing that. And then we've always talked about the Bassmaster Kayak Classic. When they announced and they had the kayak anglers come on stage, it was like they put no effort into getting to know the kayak community. And so we all learned from that. And it's like, do they really want to tap into this? How much heart is, because they could be humongous. They're bass. They could be the biggest, in the country. And then you watch, and then there's other series where I've learned at a young age, having, sports is a big thing in my life, having good coaches and great parents, that it's not about me, right? I'm the face of Slaynation, but it's never about me. You rarely see me post pictures of me like fishing or talking about myself. It's about our slayers. It's about our directors. It's about our companies. It's about Slaynation. That, like, I was just on the Bass University the other night, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's not for me. That's for the slayers, man. That's for the everyday average angler, just to show you, like, listen, we're all just as passionate as the big boat world, right? Anybody fishing Bass Open Series or fishing, Major League or the elites, whatever. There's just as much passion in all of us that love it. We're just not at that level, right? But doesn't mean we don't love it as much. Doesn't mean we're not as good. And that's what Slaynation encompasses, the majority, and that's us, right? That's us. And if you're a slayer, that doesn't mean you have to be a member of Slaynation. We call you a slayer. Slayer means that you love fishing. You want to get out there. You want to do your best. You're following what you love. You're slaying, baby. That's what it's about.
One thing that I appreciate about you, and it's a tightrope in the sense that being like the face of Slaynation, we've seen it with other tournaments and national tournaments where you want to be the hype man, right? You want to be, to a certain degree, the face of the franchise, bring your personality like you do, your electrifying personality to bring people in, but you don't want to take the attention away from the anglers, because at the end of the day, whether it's your boat tournament, whether it's your small vessel, whether it's your kayak tournament, the ones that are putting out the work out there and paying the fees are the anglers. And I see a lot of times in national trails, some trails, they're like, yeah, you're kind of stealing the spotlight from the guys out there. And one thing that I appreciate about AJ is he doesn't do that. AJ is good at just managing, making sure everything runs right. Yeah. But letting the anglers have the stage. And what I appreciate about you is you're that same way, but at the same time, you have your personality, but your personality brings attention to the kayak anglers versus taking it away. I don't know what is it about your personality, the way you manage it, the way that it shows that you care. You want to be part of Slaynation, but yet you feel you're not being overshadowed by Frankie Provolone.
Yeah, exactly. And that, like, AJ, he's like, think about it. You never see him. You don't see him much on social media, but we all know him, right? We all know his name because of his rapport. And so for me, it's like, I put the burden, on my shoulders. Like, Slaynation's my baby. I want to, if my personality and me doing posts or going on podcasts and doing what I got to do, it's going to help my directors, right? It's going to help them get members, because we have introverts. Right. We don't, not everybody is loud and bodacious, and that's okay. As long as you're organized, a good communicator, all right, and you care about your role as a director, that's all we ask for. I'll be the hype man. I'll do that. That's something I enjoy doing. But I don't ever want that to be intended like, look at me. Yeah. That's, you know what I'm saying? Slaynation is us, not me. And that's just the way it is.
No, and I commend you for what you're doing. And I think Slaynation it's growing, and it's interesting to see how big it's going to grow. And one of the things that I wanted to ask you, where do you see Slaynation going? There's two things that I would love to see Slaynation do. One of them is have their own national championship, which is like the top anglers, top 3, 5, whatever you want to call it, of each local trail, meet up at a place either at the end of the year or at the beginning of the new season. and kind of like battle it out, like sort of like the Slaynation Tournament of Champions, if I
Yeah.
may.
Yeah.
And I also would like to see a Slaynation actually open series nationwide. Do you see that happening?
That's definitely in the pipeline, right? It's some things that are on the in the notebook, right, for the 6-year plan, hopefully. Right now, we want to concentrate on building our value and making sure that we have productive, successful kayak series trails, and then that would be a great idea. We would love to do that. We would love to take some things national as far as like a championship, right, where the top anglers in each series compete at some central location somewhere. And then an open series, that's not a bad idea. Just, that's not a bad idea. And I think what I love doing with Slaynation, a lot of my kayak directors, like they partner with other local trails, right? Like our Southern Nevada kayak series. It's going to be our first year in 2022 having a kayak series in Nevada.
In
And
Nevada, wow.
yeah, yep. And AJ Gagliardo, the director, who's an awesome guy, by the way, he's partnering with some of the California, all those big kayak trails that are out there. Going to partner up, and that's what it's about. It's us building our presence in certain areas of the country where we can offer those opens if we feel like we can get some anglers showing up, because we would love to do that. That would be tons of fun. And I think as we continue getting specific sponsors and partners on board with us and recognition from other anglers, I think we can pull something off like that.
Very good, man. It sounds interesting, and I'm look forward to what's going to happen with Slaynation as it keeps going, because I think it plays a big part. It's grassroots level, but at the same time, it's competitive. Like I mentioned on the intro, that's where I got my feet wet in tournament fishing, and the camaraderie. Yeah. I really love that, you did a good job. You do a great job with sponsorship, better probably than anybody out there, considering the size of your tournaments compared to the, the Hobie BOS, Bassmaster, the KBF. Always, every time I go to a tournament, even if I skunk, I always get up coming with some kind of bait or something home, because the tournament directors, which I know follow your lead, are there to say, hey, you know what? Everybody comes a winner here. We'll make it work. Nobody's gonna go home empty-handed in one way or the other. Even if it's just a crankbait or a squirrel bill, you're gonna get something home. And I think that builds relationship. I think it builds comfort. I think it builds not comfort, confidence when you go out there. And you also get to compete, like you said. I went on a tournament. I went toe-to-toe with Mark Pendergraph and Brian Howell, and I was super excited about it, because I was like, cool, I don't have to pay $250 to actually go head-to-head with the Possum King and Brian Howell. Like, I can go, and go head-to-head with these guys and feel like if I win, hey, and if I didn't, then, okay, they're some of the best out there, and I didn't have to spend $250 to find out that they can whoop my behind real quick.
Absolutely.
So it has that good feel vibe on it. Now, I wanted to touch on. Go ahead, Frankie. You were going to say something.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that's the reason we do that. And I know you're right. The more competitive angler, do they really care about getting a pack of baits or a crankbait or a gift card? No, they really don't. But you know what? The point is, we're trying to mesh both worlds, right? That's how you grow the sport. You're going to have competitive anglers in the kayak series club, and you're going to have novice people, and you're going to have people right in the middle of the pack, right? The people that are in the middle of the pack, or the novice, when they get that bait package or that gift card or whatever it might be, that product, they're pumped, right? They're pumped. They're not feeling discouraged, because a novice or mediocre angler or just new to tournament fishing, if they don't do well the first event or two events, do you think they want to show up to event number 3? No. And now they're done. Now we just lost somebody in a sport. That's not growing a sport. And so if they do win a product or whatever, they're jacked up. They're like, all right, you know what? Yeah, I didn't do so well, but I won this dope bait from whatever, from Z Bait Company. I need to use it now. I can't wait to fish the next event and try this out and try this lure out. So that's where that is. That's what that format is all about. It like, it's, and that's the mind frame people got to get out of. It's not just has to be, I don't want this because this is cheesy. I'm here for, $1,000. Get that out of your brain, right? Because you're going to start ruining fishing for yourself and for the people around you. We want trails where you have a novice angler walk up to Armando if you won an event saying, "Hey man, great job. Great job. I saw you out there grinding. What were you doing? Here's what I was doing. What do you suggest?" That's growing the sport. It's helping each other out, man. And we're not saying you got to share all your secrets, but that goes a long way. Being a non-boater, when I was in the big boat world, right, for 7 years for the American bass anglers, I can't tell you how many great anglers, sticks in Connecticut that used to fish semi-professionally or currently fish the elites, that I used to walk up to and be like, "Hey, what were you catching on?" They took the time to tell me. That made me want to come back again and try that technique on that lake. So that's important, that people need to understand that that's what we're trying to mesh, are those both worlds. And the competitive guy is probably going to get his lunch money, right, from it, and that's okay, right, and that's all right. But that we're trying to build a sport. End of story.
No, and that's a good point. Like if all the big hammers, and I know it's kind of like overused word in kayak fishing, but if we all the big hammers kind of like make their own little group and we want to stay on the top, that's great. You're going to stay on the top, but guess what? Nobody else is going to want to join because they can't have a piece of a pie, and all they're doing is donating you money. Then guess what? The tournament winnings are going to be less, and
sponsorships are going to be less because there's less people,
and it's going to be harder to make a living out of it. Versus if you're in a privileged position that, hey, and we've seen it. I've said it tons of times, and I'm sure some people may be tired of hearing me, but guys like Guillermo Gonzalez, Russ Snyder, Drew Gregory, Christine Fisher, that help build the community. That makes me feel like, hey, I want to be part of this. No, I'm not as good as this guys, but I want to be part of it. When I fished with Mark Prendergraph, I got second place. Mark Prendergraph reached out to me and on social media says, "Hey, Armando, great job.
Nice.
And he kind of gave me confidence. I had him on the podcast. And it makes me feel good versus, all that smack talk, like I beat you, whatever. It's fun in a certain way, when the camaraderie is there and the confidence is there, but when it's people that you don't know and all that, and then when it goes social media, then it kind of gets off-putting to a certain degree. There's that balance. Trash talking is fun, arrogance is not. But
yes,
I think you touched on a good point, and that I appreciate that about Slaynation, because every event that I fished, it always feel good vibe, like we're here, we're a group, we're a team, we're a family, we're all here, one's a winner, everyone's a winner, and let's have fun, and let's share knowledge, and let's build this up.
Exactly. And that's you hit the nail on the head, where we feel like a family, because when you have the Brian Howells and Mark Pendergrass of your club go fish these national KBF championships or the Hobie BOS or the Bassmaster Kayak Classic, who are you rooting for? You're rooting for your boy, right? You're rooting for, or the Lady Slayer in your club. Like, that's what you want. You want to have that team kind of feel to it. Like, take pride in your series. Stop bashing it and and support each other and be like, hey, I know I'm not doing any national events, but you know what? This guy in my club is. I'm going to support him. I'm going to post about him. Hey, go follow so-and-so. And, if we could do that, this sport's going to go, to the stratosphere, man.
I wanted to touch on something because I want to address the things that people may look and be put off by it, because I think there's a lack of understanding of how things work. Mm-hmm. People are going to look and say, well, why am I paying a membership fees when most trails out there don't pay a membership fee? And I want to address that not as a negative, because I don't criticize that. Yep. I know why you do it, and I certainly agree with it. But for those out there that are not familiar with it, tell us why there is a membership fees and what are the benefits for those membership fees.
Yeah, the membership fee supports Slaynation. Without the membership fees, we are not doing what we do. One, it's providing, not only do they pay a membership fee, but with that, they get their Slaynation jersey. We do a different one each year, kind of like you can collect them. You feel a part of something. You get your decal, your bracelet. I designed a Slaynation custom jig that everybody will get in their membership. All the discount codes, from 20 to 50%. They're going to qualify for a national online series championship. But for all that stuff, we do not want cash and dash anglers. I don't want like an open series where, you find out or someone finds out, oh, Frankie's running an event on Candlewood Lake here in Connecticut, and this guy lives in New York. Oh, I'm going to show up, fish, win it because I know it really well. And then that's it. Take everybody's money, never see you again. Right? I don't like that. I know that happens in the big boat stuff. I never like that. Never like that concept. We want dedicated Slaynation members that we know if you're paying a membership fee, you're going to come show up for the events. You're going to fish. You're going to take pride in wearing the shirt we're making. And, insurance ain't cheap, y'all. Yeah. It covers everything: the insurance, the banners, the tents, those prize packs that y'all saw in 2021. There were a lot of our partners, businesses did not give a lot of product. That was bought, so that we know that people had prize packs at events, stickers, decals. When you have almost 700 members, nothing's cheap. And, all that stuff goes to all of the events. And without it, we can't provide an opportunity. Right. And that's the end of the game. And we feel that with our member benefits package, they're definitely getting their money's worth. There's no doubt about that. And that's also the reason why we have so many businesses on us as partners, to give everybody variety. There's definitely going to be companies on this list that you purchase from. There's just no doubt about it. Especially Omnia Fishing, which is an online retailer. The membership fee is the lifeblood, and we don't have big businesses and sponsors. This is the first year we're actually doing, some companies are paying to put their logo on our jersey. We've never done that before, and it's not even a lot. Like a title sponsorship is $600. We're not talking about thousands of dollars here. And I've had people ask, wait, 600, dude, you need to be charging more than that. And I'm like, I almost felt bad, even, but we need that. And we're starting to really value ourselves and what we're doing. And it's a lot of work. I will be honest with you. It is a lot of work doing the back end stuff. And, the hardest part is, when people pay and I get the email notification, I got to take that name and address and email and shirt size and last name and put it on like 4 of the rosters, alone. And it's tedious work. So, there's a lot of hard work going through that $60,
Yeah, and it almost pays for itself, because just the jersey is like what, $20, $30?
The jersey is 20. Yeah, that's $25 for the jersey itself. You know what I mean? So that's half we don't even get a full 60. PayPal takes out their chunk, so it's really like $57. But I mean, in the hindsight, a $60 annual membership, it's really not a lot of money if you're spending $250 to go fish a national event or something, and then your travel costs and everything else on top of that. Like, it's cheap.
That's a good point. Why is the insurance important? Because somebody mentioned this when we were at Lake Fork, and I didn't know about that. So why is the insurance important? Why do you need to pay for insurance?
Yeah, well, one, it covers Slaynation, so nobody, there's the liability waiver goes so far in any trail, right? But the insurance covers in case there is an accident, and it also gives directors peace of mind, because that's the first thing that people ask when I interview directors is, are we insured? Do I need to get insurance for my trail? And I'm like, no, we're covered under North American Tournament Association. And it also gives me a peace of mind too, because if something happens and a director needs to fill out an incident report or whatever, and we got to call it the insurance, I know we're covered. You know what I mean? It's like car insurance. You're paying for it every month. You might not ever use it, right? For 2 years. That's how fishing insurance is. You might not ever need it, but the insurance goes towards, if I want to have a booth at a fishing expo, or one of my directors want to do one in their local Bass Pro. The insurance covers that. So it's actually a useful tool to help us promote. I'm going to be doing one at Mohegan Sun this March. And without the insurance, I can't do it. Or I'd have to pay for the event coverage for the weekend, but that'd be more than what I pay for the renewal fee.
Yeah. What if there's an angler and he has an accident on the water? How does this insurance help out?
The insurance, now this is like you're going down something I'm not extremely knowledgeable in. I didn't even know I have it, but it goes so far. Excuse me. It doesn't actually protect the angler's belongings, right? It will protect, like, I believe, if, let's just say we have a kayak angler who, whatever, bumps into somebody's boat or something, dents it or whatever. I think it covers it covers the belongings on the patron side of it, I guess. Yeah. That's what I think. I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't read it all, but I had to talk with someone. They said, Frank, make sure you read the fine lines. So it covers our butt in case legal issues, things of that nature.
Yeah, and I think that's important, and it's understandable. And like I said, I think I understand the aspect of it. And a lot of people say, well, why am I paying a membership fee? Insurance is a big part of it. Knowing that things are insured, that brings legitimacy to it. And like you said, you're getting stuff around it. It almost pays for itself when you count the discounts and all the stuff you're getting from Slaynation. In the kind of like a gift packet, for welcome packet. So I think that's important. It helps out the trail. Yeah. And I think and the growth of it. So that's pretty important. Why would you say to people that are thinking, okay, do I want to know Slaynation? And I know you're not gonna bash anybody. You're not saying, oh, join Slaynation, don't join this person's. No, if you have the time. If a person has the time and they're thinking about getting into tournaments, never done a tournament before, what's the big attraction with doing Slaynation?
Yeah, first off, I would say, well, why not, right? Just to hear an answer. But secondly, it's just, hey, if you're looking for, the grassroots style, you're looking to get into fishing, you want to be. We have a great reputation, right? We have a good reputation. We're like middle of the road. We're still getting known. We do lots of things with veterans, right? We do a lot of fundraising events as well. We're a wholesome series. That's the way I like to think about it. And, it's low cost, $50 entry fee. You're going to meet local anglers. Now I love partnering with local trails. So it's really hard for me to say why you should join us over someone else. Right. I never liked that. I never liked taking that avenue. If you're looking for something different, if you're looking, if you're not all, you want to maybe get a prize pack at the end of an event or something, or be posted nationally and become part of the Monster Bass Club. Like, that's one thing that's really cool about us is we partner. Monster Bass Company is a title sponsor of ours, and when you catch the biggest fish in an event, you're going to get posted on our social media. The whole world's going to, people are going to know who you are. Monster Bass is going to know who you are. Wow, Armand, were you a Monster Bass?
Yeah, 21 in 1 quarter.
Yeah, man, we posted you all over the place. You got the frame. I mean, that's pretty cool. There's not many series doing it. I don't know. Like, that's the one thing. We have a good social media community where we take the information from our local series and funnel that through our social media that goes out to everybody. There's local series that don't do that. I don't know of many that do that they take from their other series and you post them, even the big ones. You don't hear about their every weekend series and who caught the big fish. Yeah. We do a pretty good job with that. And we enjoy it, and people get a kick out of it. When those anglers see, like, we have the next generation slayers. When I posted the champion of that, his parents were through the roof. They were like, I can't believe my 12-year-old is like all over your social media. And I've had young anglers on podcasts and they got sponsorships out of it.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. But that's what we're trying to bring, man. We're trying to bring fun back to tournament fishing. Although we all say it's fun, it's still a high, and that's okay. I'm as competitive as anybody else, right? We all say that, and I am. right? But it's fun at the end of the day, man. I'm trying to live my life and have fun, straight up. When I go on the water, if I do shitty, it is what it is. But guess what? I cannot wait to get to that ramp to bullshit with people. What you do, and I just can't. You gotta, we're bringing fun back. That's what we're trying to do.
You're the owner or founder of Slaynation. You're a teacher, and on top of that, you're the owner of this KFL team, CT Renegades. First of all, how do you find the time to wear so many hats?
You just got to. I run social media for Outdoorsman Coffee Company. So go check it out. Yeah, go check out OCC. Slay 15, save 15%. Nighttime, dude. That's what I do when I put my kids down. Nighttime. I'm on the laptop or I'm doing phone calls during my breaks at school. I'm doing phone calls with businesses. It's you got so many hours in a day. It's called time management, right? And just taking phone calls when you can on the road. And so we got the KFL going on, which we'll step into in a minute. We got that. I mean, that's a little easier than Slaynation, obviously, but I'm using the same format and my tactics with Slaynation with the KFL team.
For those that don't know, and it's going to be your first season, you haven't competed yet on the
next year. No, this will be our first season, 2022.
Who do you got on your team right now?
Ooh, so first of all, y'all got to go check out the Connecticut Renegades, making our 2022 season debut in the Kayak Fishing League in the Northern Conference. We're in the Mid-Atlantic Division. We got number 77, Jack Tibbins, who is a stick. He's also known nationally with KBF events, things of that, Hobie BOS. He's good. Ryan Nye, right? Really good stick. We got some sleepers. Brian Baxter, the big dog, just retired from the police force, by the way. Brad Campbell. We got Soak Choke, another Connecticut fella. We got Thomas Tutil. He's a sleeper. We have Devin Ramos. This guy is a big boater. We are converting him. He owns Bounty Hunter Custom Baits here in Connecticut. He is a stick. He's won AOI in Slaynation for 2 years in a row with his girlfriend. And I'm getting him on a kayak. And I'll tell you right now, when he really dials it in on a kayak, because I know what he could do on a big boat and John boat, he's going to be a name to watch out for. And then we got the Romanian jackhammer, Leo, right? My man, the Romanian. And those are our 8, all Connecticut slayers, all Connecticut, residents.
Who's going to be your main rival?
So it looks like with our first year, we don't really have like many rivals, but the KFL did an interview, and I think that one of our rivals is going to be either like the Delaware Doom or the New York Empire, right? Because they're like two of the closer teams. But we're competing against in our division, the Mid-Atlantic, we go against the New Hampshire Granite State Sticks, the Delaware Doom, the New York Empire, and the Pennsylvania Bronzebacks. That's who's on our division.
Nice, man. How many, what are we calling it? I know soccer is match. Every other sport in America is game. What is it that we call it on team?
KFL?
No. But I'm saying, like, do we call it a game, a match?
Yeah, the game days.
Game days?
Okay, yeah. You got 4 anglers on game day that compete. Yeah, man. There's 4 regular season 8 regular season games, 4 away, 4 home, and then there's the playoffs and the national championship.
Nice. How do you feel your chances going to be of this team? Are you going to be fishing, or are you just
on the team? I'm not. I was originally on as an alternate. There's no way I could do it with everything going on and then running my own Slaynation trail. I would love to, but I want to put the right players in the right spots, man. I'm taking care of the back end so they can concentrate on fishing. But we feel pretty good. They did some predictions. I mean, they put us pretty high for where we are. They got us starting like 4-1 our season, and I feel really good. I'm real confident. We're gonna, we got some really good anglers. That's all I'm going to say. We got some really good anglers and some that have proven to do well outside of Connecticut and the New England area. And I think we're going to make a name for ourselves next season. The KFL is going to know the Renegades.
No trash talking yet?
Oh yeah, there's
Early.
been trash talking. There's been trash talking. I'm not a big trash talker. Like I can get silly with it. I can get
Yeah.
really, I can trash talk and I can like make fun and I'm really good at that. But I'm letting my guys do it. You know, Jack Tibbins he's good at that and he backs it up. So I'll let him do that. I'm gonna stay the rah rah guy. I'm gonna pump everybody up and you know I don't want to start something that the guys don't want, but if they want to start it, I love it.
You're gonna be like a Jerry Jones type owner, or you're gonna be more like laid
No,
back?
I'm gonna be like a Mark Cuban, kind of
Mark,
like
you want
yeah, like wanting to fish like in the games. Like I'll be at the ramp, like wanting to get in there, But I'm gonna take care of the guys. That's my job is to get the sponsorships and pulling money for us, and get the jerseys made and get apparel and run our social media, and that's the stuff I want to do for them, so they can just get out there and slay.
That's awesome, man. You excited then about this season? Both.
I'm really excited, man. Next year is going to be a blast. I'm really, really excited. And it's not even have to do with me getting on the water, but it's just everything going on around us and being a part of it. I think next year is going to be one of the most fun fishing years for me in general because of just the businesses we're partnering with, the KFL, all that great community, Slaynation, being on podcasts with you, man, like, dude, I've always wanted to be in the fishing industry. I just never knew how I would get my niche. And I think I found it, and I love it, dude. Absolutely love it.
That's awesome, man. And we love the energy that you bring into everything you do. I don't know where you get the energy, but God bless it. You have it, and keep riding that lightning until
Absolutely.
Until you can.
I'm riding it. I don't know where it comes from either. I just been blessed, man. I listen to my parents. My parents always have energy. They're always like uppity up, like they're never down. Like if you ask them, hey, how's your day going? Even if you're having a miserable day, it's always, oh, I'm doing great. That's where it stems from.
That's awesome. Frankie, anything we've missed, everything we haven't covered about Slaynation, so the C-Team Renegades, what else?
No, I just want to, one thing that's part of the membership next year, not membership, but part of all of our series next year is we're going to do a 2022 National Slaynation Online Championship. So anybody that finishes first place in any Slaynation series, any Slaynation event, first place, you're going to get a Slaynation Challenge coin, right? They're going to be hard to get. It's kind of like a collectible. And that's going to be your qualification into this National Online Championship. And we're going to have 3 divisions. We have the big 3, right? Texas, Florida, Cali. It doesn't matter what Slaynation series you're in. It'll be an online thing. So you fish your local public waters and compete against it's like for bragging rights. Because if you get a kayak angler that beats somebody in a Jumbo or horsepower series, they're bragging. If you get a lady slayer that wins it from the bank, she's going to be bragging. We're going to do that. And that's just, and the whole premise of all this is trying to get high participation percentages in our series. Right. And then it's just an extra added opportunity of fun. And so that's one thing that I'm really excited to be able to offer next year. And then obviously before we hang up here, I got to do my sponsor shout outs, baby.
Heck yeah, man. Do it.
So, all right. So, excuse me. So we got 6 title sponsors next year, and I'm really excited. One of them I can't mention because they're brand new and they don't launch until January. All right. Okay. It's a soft plastic company out of Connecticut, and I want you to think of Japanese domestic market style baits. Okay. I have a bunch of their prototypes. I cannot wait for y'all to see these baits. They're freaking awesome. We got Sticks Fishing out of California, right? Fishing rod company on board. John Yacht, Hook Set Hoodlums, hashtag ride with us or collide with us. Wicked Weights, Tungsten Weights right there. Our boy Jimmy. Monster Bass Company. You all know Monster Bass, the subscription box. Yep. We got Viking Eyewear, RoboHawk, the Bass Juice, Outdoorsman Coffee Company. That's the official coffee, Slaynation, and the CT Renegades. Use Slay15 for 15% off. I didn't even tell you, dude. We got our own coffee blend now. The Slayer Select.
I saw that.
Yeah, dude. It's a donut shop blend. It's like a medium.
Nice.
Roast. We have Onyx Life Jackets, Harmony Fishing, Tech Baits, Martin's Custom Baits, Riverwise Fishing, Line Cutters, Zico Shoes. Don't be a geek, yo. Get
Go.
some Zicos. You know about those. P-Line, Veterans Fishing. P-Line, by the way, is coming out with a brand new product line called First Generation. All Slaynation members are going to get VIP pricing. We have this gigantic product list with their line too. The discounts we're getting on their line alone, if you use P-Line, is ridiculous. And their new products, they have a jig head that is lipped. Like it looks like a crankbait lip. And you can walk the dog underwater.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. So I can't wait for people to get their eyes on that. Euro Tackle. The Bass University is an official partner of Slaynation. We have Bounty Hunter Custom Baits, the American Angler Outdoors channel. We have Gray Goat Lures. We have Tiny Boat Nation, Kayak Cushion. Our boys over at Brandon. Yeah, Kayak Cushion. We placed the largest custom kayak cushion order in 2021 with him. Wow. We had like 90 Slaynation kayak cushions made. We got Omnia Fishing, Z Bait Company, Naughty Fish Outfitters, Stretch and Lines Angler Gear, Tourney Tag, Savior Outdoors, Adosa Reel, Cat 3 Tackle. Dude, if you have not checked out Cat 3 Tackle, check it out. It's something it's like a prop that has many willow leaf blades, and you put it in the front of, you could put it in the front of a chatterbait, crankbait, anything, swim bait. That's a game changer. They're in Tackle Warehouse now. He just got in Tackle Warehouse. So you know it's a good product if you're in Tackle Warehouse.
That's a local Texas guy. What's his name?
Ben Adrian.
Ben Adrian. Yeah. He's been on my podcast.
And I know, and he's also a good kayak angler too.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is.
And I think he just moved to Florida, to be honest.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah, he's been doing lots of peacock fit. Unless he's been on a long vacation. I thought he moved. We got my buddies Poe Bassin. Ike Live Show is another partner. All right, to Slaynation. Heat Your Meat. I know people are going to laugh when you hear this, Heat Your Meat, but it is one of the best seasoning companies out there. So if you like dry rubs, everything bagel seasonings, I mean, they have margaritas. You like making pickled vegetables. They have seasonings for everything, and it has a kick to it. It is, I'm telling you right now, Armando, when I make my bagels from now on, I use their everything bagel seasoning. I put on everything. Eggs, doesn't matter. It's banging. And Tourney X, right? Our buddy Dwayne Wally. So there you go, baby. Oh, Third Eye Fishing is a brand new sponsor that we just picked up today. And lithium battery power. All right. Lithium battery is hopping on board as well. So there you go. Thanks.
That's awesome, man. That is a lot of sponsorship. Props to you and all the legwork and hard work you've done to get those sponsors, man.
Yeah.
Speaks volume to your dedication and your attitude towards this. So I
appreciate
it's amazing,
it,
man. It's what can you say, man? It's awesome. That's awesome. That's a lot of sponsors. I'm actually in awe with all the sponsors that you got.
It's a lot of juggling, and people ask, well, how do you some of those are conflicting. They are, but we're so widespread. Yeah. That's the thing people don't understand. We're so widespread. It's nice to have variety. And, all these logos are going on the back of the jersey. They're going on our banners. They're on the website. So go check them out.
That's awesome. Frankie, thank you so much, man. It's always fun to have you come to the podcast. I know you're super busy. You have your kids. You have a tournament, national tournaments to run. You have your team. You have your kids, so I really appreciate you taking time, man.
I appreciate it, Armando. And dude, I always appreciate you. You're one of those good people out there. Keep doing what you're doing. I've seen your podcast grow. I know.
I think a lot of people call it that. My pod crap. It's
podcast, dude. That's what I meant. And but you're part of the Paddle and Fin crew, and I mean, just everybody's a great crew. I am always, every time y'all are like live or you post, I'm always watching, always on. I love y'all. And, your podcasts are a huge stepping stone and a piece of this industry, right? And people need to recognize that, because you're taking time out to interview schmucks like me, dude. And you know, without that, how was anybody going to know about some of us, right? So we appreciate you, man.
I appreciate what you guys what you're doing for the kayak fishing community and fishing in general. Wish you the best moving forward, Frankie. You can always count on my podcast to come up and my pod crap, like you call it, to come up and and talk fishing, man. It's always fun to talk to you.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Stay well, stay healthy, and peace, love, slay all day. Slaynation Tournament baby.
Woo!
Woo!
All right, for those out there listening, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Go check out my sponsor, Douglas Rod. Go to douglasoutdoors.com. I'm surprised you don't have him as your sponsor in Slaynation.
They reached out. They reached out. I talked to Donnie.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I talked to Donnie, but he was involved in something. It was like a time lapse, and Sticks. I had already potentially something with Sticks, and then it so that's what I wasn't opposed to it. We had a great conversation. But that's how the cookies crumbled.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. Well, once again, if you're gonna be on the water, guys, girls, wear your PFDs, stay safe, have a great week. Peace.